Because I have $30,000 in credit card debt. When they call, I tell them I can't pay it back yet. Credit card debt? Tomorrow I may buy myself a...
Hello there, gang, and welcome to another episode of Displaying Model Behaviour, the Earth's mightiest action figure video podcast. So take off your pants, crack a beer, and let's talk toys. Let's talk about the nerdy news that you need to know about. It's the only news that matters. It's good news. And today we've got everything from comics to video games to action figures and movies. But as you know, here at Model Behaviour, action figures come first.
Or sometimes not at all.
So let's not stand on ceremony. Mr. Wayne, let's talk about him. First up, McFarlane DC have shown full images of all of their Atrocitus wave figures. And the big reveal, of course, is Atrocitus himself. And yeah, I'm impressed with this dude. I've only seen a couple of pictures of him. I heard the name and I was like, ooh, sounds like a badass name. Let's look this guy up. And I was like, oh yeah, he fits the name. Yeah, he looks like an Atrocitus. And he's going to look like an Atrocitus on your shelf as well, because it looks like they're not scrimping out on this guy. You check the size of those Build-A-Figure pieces compared to the action figures, and yeah, he's going to be towering over those guys. He's going to look big, mean, beefy, bit of a roidy Magoo, and that's what you want with a character like that. Because McFarlane have been a little bit off every now and then. Characters like Devastator have been maybe not as big. Its scale is always, they haven't quite cracked it yet, but it looks like they're getting much, much better. So this wave, I think if you're a fan of that story, of that Blackest Night, everyone's a zombie type story, this is going to be just the thing for you. For other folks, you know, your mileage may vary. Do you want a zombie Superman? Well, if you do, then you can get one. Same as Batman. I wonder how many Batmen McFarlane have actually done. I know it's kind of a running joke meme, but they have made a lot of Batmen. But hey, he sells, so they're going to keep on making them. Nothing wrong with that. The one figure from the wave that's kind of like just a normal kind of Joe is the Kyle Rayner Green Lantern. And there's bits about him that I like, but also I don't like the way like his torso is sort of cut in different parts. Like his waist sticks out from his stomach. Like it, I don't know. Maybe it's just the photos. But if it is the photos, then their photographer needs to work on some better angles. And also, like, I feel like the proportions of Kyle Rayner, like the legs are a bit odd. I don't know. Am I crazy? Like, it just doesn't look quite right to my eye. But then where McFarlane always excels is the monsters and Deathstorm. Deathstorm looks pretty wicked. Alright, so that is one. When you have a character who has a skull head with flames, I mean, come on. You can't go wrong with that. So Deathstorm looks pretty wicked. And then finally, of course, as I said, Atrocitus, he looks super cool. So these figures are going to be retailing for about $24.99, and they're going to be available around about August. So you can brighten up your summer with some Blackest Night. Now, of course, as we all know, April 26th was Alien Day. I'm sure you celebrated in your own private, personal ways. Me personally, yeah, that totally passed me by. But then again, most days are Alien Day in my house. The amount of times that I've watched Aliens, like, yeah, y'all don't need a day to watch Aliens. So to celebrate Alien Day, Neca released 2 new images of 2 new figures for their Fireteam Elite range. So Fireteam Elite is a online multiplayer Aliens game, which I haven't played because I'm not a big multiplayer type person, but I do love the look of it because it seems like it just incorporates everything from the Alien franchise into one game, and it looks like a good nostalgia trip. One of these days I might get on board with that. But these 2 aliens, they look exactly what you would expect from Neca, but still kind of fun. So you've got the Runner and the Prowler, and essentially it looks like repaint, you know, slightly different tone slapped across there. It's, like I said, what you would expect from Neca Aliens. Lots of detail, very cool and grim and gnarly looking, but comes down to how many aliens you need in your collection. I know some people have, like, you know, you army build aliens, as you do, and the more different varieties and shapes and sizes, that is a cool kind of subline collection. Actually, if you do have like a massive Neca Aliens collection, post it up on the Model Behaviour Facebook group. I'd be really interested to see that, because I don't have a collection of my own, but I mark out when I see other people. So yeah, if you've got that, share it. That would be really interesting. But these guys, yeah, they look pretty cool. So we don't have a price yet, but they're Neca, so you would have thought about, $30 to $40. But hey, if you're a big Aliens person, then this one's definitely for you. Now, I do love me some Kaiju and Godzilla, and SH Monster Arts, they're bringing something pretty fun. The Monster X figure from Godzilla Final Wars. I think it came out in 2004, I think it was. I'm not a Godzilla expert. I got a lot of love, but not that much knowledge. I think that applies to most subjects.
You don't say.
But he looks straight up like a classic man in costume Power Rangers villain. But SH Monster Arts, they always kind of bring the thunder with great details and articulation. And I don't think I've seen this guy in action figure form before. I'm sure there have been different figures of him made, but not that I've seen before. And I was looking at him, I was like, man, that would go really well in just any generic monsters fantasy type display. My mind always goes to my Spawn Mortal Kombat kind of thing. He would totally fit in there. I'm not going to get him because SH Monster Arts, that is a higher ticket item, so you got to be a real connoisseur, a real fan to want to go for these. But to just take a look and admire them, yeah, the pictures look super pretty. So he's going to be released in Japan first, and he'll retail for about 12,000 yen, which pretty much equates to about $100 when he's released in the US through import, and he should be coming and hitting your shores, not necessarily my shores, but your shores, around about September. Sticking with the SHs, we're going from Monster Arts to Figuarts, and we've got ourselves the Spider-Man No Way Home Iron Spider figure. There's a lot of detail going on in this guy. You can see from the pictures, it looks super pretty. When I first saw the listing, I was like, wait a minute, he didn't wear that costume in No Way Home. But then, of course, he did. Yes, he wore it up to the bridge scene, and then it took over Doc Ock's arms. Man, that was a great scene. That was a great little twist, pairing up like Bluetooth. I love that movie. Definitely, even though there is some recency bias, I'm sure, that is still one of my favorite MCU movies, no question. And this is a great representation of the look of the character in that moment. SH, they always kind of kill it, but it does come with the big price tag as well, so you're going to trade off. If you want to be your snooty monocle wearing, have the establishment over to gaze upon my action figure collection, then this one might be for you. Let me give you some more details. So this guy's going to be priced at 8,800 yen, which again with the conversion is about $69. And this dude is going to be coming over to the US shores and maybe UK with various import places around about August. So yeah, start building up your MCU spider armors because yeah, this guy, yeah, he looks pretty. Buzz Lightyear to the rescue! SH Figuarts are busy little beavers right now. They've got the Godzilla, they got Spider-Man, and they're also doing Buzz Lightyear. Honestly, I'm quite looking forward to this Buzz Lightyear movie. It looks just kind of fun and a little bit, dare I say, even sort of awe-inspiring. Some of those shots, it's very just grandiose. I'm down for this. I think I'm going to be there, opening weekend. And this figure, I love what they've done with the design of Buzz, where they've totally kept that cartoony, Pixar-y, Toy Story look, but they just tweaked it just enough to make it a bit more human looking, a bit more sort of relatable. It's very clever, very cool. Smart people making that, and smart people at SH Figuarts converting it into a very pretty looking action figure. So just like Spider-Man, Buzz is going to be priced around about $70, and he's going to be shipping later on in the year, so you might have a little bit of a wait for him, but it's not necessarily going to be coming alone. Because for about $110, you will also be able to pick up his spaceship as well, the Chogokin, I think it's called. It's a funny old name. It makes me think of Bokoblins from Zelda. Anywho, the ship is not the same scale as Buzz himself. It actually comes with like a little miniature Buzz character. But I think it said it's about 9 inches long or so. So still like it's a, well no, that's how I exaggerate things. Yeah, actually how long is 9 inches? That's, hang on, let me check. No, it's about that length. So figure it out for yourselves because I'm going down a dark path here. But those two together on a little display, they're going to look really cool. As mentioned on yesterday's video, Mezco have revealed their Dr. Doom and put him up for pre-order, and oh my goodness, he looks so pretty. And first of all, I was given out about how excited I was for this figure. And a lot of people were saying like, oh, well, you're not happy about Marvel Legends, but you're alright to pay 3 times that for Doom. I'm like, yeah, have you seen him? I don't mind big price tags as long as you get your money's worth. That's what I'm talking about. And also, Mezco aren't asking us to buy 7 figures in one go to get a builder figure. Alright, they got a little false equivalency going on here, pal. But yeah, I love the look of this guy. I'm so excited I bashed my microphone. I've got to admit, I've parked down my pre-order already. Yep, done. It was easy. I really am so excited to get my hands on this. So I'm not going to bang on about him because I had a whole video dedicated to him. But check out the Mezco official site if you want to go grab a pre-order. Or if you're in the UK, I know that Comics and Cocktails carry him. Probably Toys-R-Us too. Check around. Kapow and Demand. So many great retailers. Go check it out because, yeah, he looks really good. Going back to Godzilla, and that's not even the final Godzilla news. Hiya Toys have shown images of their new Godzilla since Neca dropped the license, which is a shame because I think they were doing a really good job. Hiya have picked up the baton, or the baton, if you will. And this Godzilla, I've got to say, he looks better than the Neca ones, just in pictures. It's not fair to say because these are beautifully lit and shot pictures, but it just looks like so freaking real. Now this I think might scale slightly smaller than the Neca ones, but not too much in it. It's listed as about sort of 6.5 inches. Neca are about 7-inch scale, but when you're dealing with kaiju, there's a lot of variance in there. So I'll be very interested to see what he actually looks like in hand, But this might be the start of some really great figures coming out of this, because we've got a million Godzilla figures. I want to see the monsters. I want to see the Heisei era, the great, crazy-looking Biolante, and just the evil Godzilla-type ones. I forget the names, but there's so many cool designs out there that Neca never really got the chance to get onto. They made a billion different Godzillas, but didn't really touch on the different monsters that much. So if Hiya can step up and do that, oh, I'm going to be excited to see. Now, this is literally just like the debut of the images, so we don't have any prices or release dates or anything like that, but you know that when they become available, reputable websites will print them, and then your old pal Dave will just find it there and give you the information secondhand. That's how I roll. Neca have also revealed their new April O'Neil Bride of Frankenstein figure, continuing their Universal Monsters TMNT crossover. They gave a great stop motion trailer. I freaking love stop motion stuff. It just hits me in just the right way. I'm sure a lot of people would like to hit me in just the right way. But I'm not totally gripped by this one. I think if you want to collect the whole line, this is totally a worthy addition to it. It looks like they haven't scrimped or done any less effort. But for me, I think just the turtles will be enough. Maybe like a badass shredder. But having Judith Hogue, is it how you pronounce her surname? Hogue from the movies. That's great that they've used her likeness. That's super fun. It's lovely how into the action figures she seems to be. She's really happy to promote them and be a part of it. That's awesome. But I just don't think this is essential for my collection, especially when these figures are expensive. Over in the UK, they're about £45 each. That's a lot of money. So you've really got to pick and choose. I think just the main 4 will be ample. So I've got Raphael, and Leonardo should be, I guess, hitting any time now. And then Michelangelo, we got the mummy version. So April with the cool sort of radio style kind of, it's a real kind of classic music hall radio. They've done a great job of just bringing in that feel, that RKO Pictures kind of thing. That's really great and clever. People had a lot of fun with it. So while I'm not desperate to get it, I can appreciate the love that's gone into it.
Do you want me to gut Ultra Magnus?
Cyclonus. That's a badass line from a badass character. I think one of the more underrated Decepticons. Cyclonus made his debut in Transformers the movie from 1986. Probably one of the greatest movies ever made. And now he's getting another version from Hasbro, and it looks kind of cool. So this is from the Generation Selects Voyager line, and you know that my knowledge gets real spotty when it comes to how Hasbro break up their Transformers lines and what means what and the different scales and stuff. So if you care about this news, you're gonna know better than me. So that's okay. You already know. He comes with a character called Nightstick as well. Don't know who that is. Is that a Target Master character? I don't know. Unfortunately, my knowledge of Cyclonus doesn't go that far beyond the movie. I just thought he had a cool look. He had Scourge and Cyclonus always looked cooler. Maybe I just wasn't a fan of Scourge's goatee. It is what it is. Also, Cyclonus, stop me if I'm wrong, but there's all the controversy as to who is Cyclonus. Is he Skywarp or is he Bombshell? Or you couldn't tell which Decepticon was turned into him. So however you feel about Cyclonus, or whoever you think he originally was, you can go over to Hasbro Pulse, and he's $44.99 in the UK. I'm sure that's a similar price in the US, but yeah, add him to your Decepticon shelf, because he's an underrated bot. Speaking of Buzz Lightyear, interestingly, there are some more, kids-type action figures that have been released of these Sentry-type robots, and a lot of people have pointed out these straight up look like Mandroids. So already there's some really cool photography and customizing artwork out there of people who have bought a whole bunch of these and turned them into classic Iron Man style Mandroid robots, and they look really effective. So if you want to just broaden your collection a little bit, bring in some creativity, some different things, and have a little play about, grab yourself some of these Buzz Lightyear figures, because they look the business, and already they're in that kind of yellow gold sort of look. You can add some custom paint if you want to really make them look the business, but honestly, I think this is like a very happy coincidence, and maybe there is a little bit of leaning from the designers who are like, you can Mandroid these things, because yeah, they look really fun. The Marvel Legends team have been super busy recently doing the rounds on all the different YouTube action figure channels. Loads of interviews happening with Dan Who, Toy Bro, X-Manny. I shouldn't have started listing because now I'm going to look bad for forgetting people because they all deserve being mentioned. Shardamus Prime did one as well. I'm going to stop now, but there are other people. Like I said, they've been doing the rounds, and there's been like a few little tidbits here and there. The biggest one that I think is that on the Toy Bro interview, they showed the Korg figure that's going to come with Galactus, and he looks like they've really done a good job with this. It was almost difficult to articulate what I'm trying to say. Yes, he's big, and that was always the thing when we saw the render. He looked like a big boy, but then we were all thinking, and when I say we, I mean me, was thinking, yeah, but they're throwing him in as like an extra. How much money are they really going to put into a figure that's kind of like an extra? They've already got our money. No, shut up, Dave. Stop talking trash. You don't know what you're talking about, because they've gone ham on Korg. By the looks of things, from what we can see in the little blurry picture, he looks like a big, chunky, wicked looking figure. I'm really excited for that. Marvel Legends team, double thumbs up. Because let's face it, honestly, I think the female Prime Sentinel that came with the Sentinel, she's pretty underwhelming. So there is a precedent for maybe phoning it in a little bit. But Korg, no, you didn't. You used your whole ass, and he looks amazing. So oh, bring on HasLab Galactus. There's not long to wait. It's got to be, 3 months? Maybe 4 months? I don't know. But whenever he gets on our shelves, it's going to be a good day. Of course, we had the Hasbro G.I. Joe Pulse stream a couple of days ago as well, and there's a lot to unpack here, so let's see if I can focus. First of all, they opened with a whole bunch of essentially repaints, and there was some a bit annoying kind of stuff here. First of all, there's Snake Eyes and Timber, who've been repainted and sort of zhuzhed up a little bit, or even not even zhuzhed, just changed. And it is kind of annoying because this is, to my eye, like the perfect version of Snake Eyes, because there's just more color going on. I love the stealthy black ninja, but it's great to actually just throw in some more details for your eyes to catch. So he has the green camo pants, and he's got the silver visor, which just kind of pops on the shelf. Timber, I think, is just like a white sort of version. I think the original one's fine. Not enough to warrant a repurchase, which is, whew, that's good. That's good. That saves money. But also it means in the back of my mind, I'm like, that is possibly the better looking Snake Eyes. Then there's a new retro Zartan as well. This one, I don't mind. It actually really does not look that different from the original Zartan. There's a bit more distinction in the colors, so maybe they pop a little bit more. I love that. You're going to hear me saying it a lot. But he does. He looks like he'll probably stand out on the shelf a little bit more. His armor looks like more of a bluey silver kind of look. But again, I think even the designers on the show were kind of reaching for terms to use to say how he is different from the original, because honestly, there's not much in it. Then this one is a bit egregious. This kind of annoyed people a little bit, myself included. I just mentioned on the last episode of Good News how excited I am having ordered the Hasbro Pulse Storm Shadow. How great he looks, how happy I'm going to be to have an iconic best version of Oh wait, there's a new one. Seriously, Hasbro, before you've even released the one that we've pre-ordered, you're announcing a new repainted Storm? What the hell? That's not cool. Alright, we've given you our money and we haven't even got the figure yet, and you're going, oh yeah, there's actually this better one. So that they didn't literally do that, but that's what I was seeing when I was watching it. I sometimes see things that aren't there. They were like, thanks for the money, sucker. Come buy it again. Luckily, this new one isn't massively different. I got spit all over me. The only real difference that I can see in particular is like he's got wraps around his forearms as opposed to the archery gloves. And even though I think the wraps look cooler, and I'd prefer that, it's not enough to make me go like, I should really have the other figure. So it's fine, but it's also not fine. You know what I mean. Then we've got Tiger Force Duke with the Ram Cycle. And this is, again, it's an easy pass for me, which is lucky. The Ram Cycle, I think the color scheme, the repaint, it's super pretty. It's super fun with all the different colors and the fades and the details. Like, it looks fun, but also I know that it's just going to look like a kid's toy, which is, kind of the idea, which is fine. But I don't need that big chunk of colorful plastic taking up more space. I don't have that much space. Duke, I think, does look like an improvement from the original. I think slightly, more muted colors, but maybe just a better sort of look. Not less plasticky, maybe, but again, we're talking about a computer render. So, who knows? But honestly, I'm thinking, yeah, that's not one that I need to go for. I've got a Duke. I don't need a different Duke, so that's okay. That's an easy pass. But one that I think I am going to agonize over is the Ninja Troop Builder 2-pack. These look like they might be really pretty. Mainly the one thing that really catches my eye is the two Oni masks that they come with. That looks pretty wicked. That's going to distinguish them both really well. And people, when they saw these, were like, finally, an actual new figure. Because the female ninja, that seems to be new. Whereas the male one, I think that's kind of mostly repaint and reuse from the red ninja. So I don't desperately need a pair of ninjas, but at the same time, I think I kind of want them. We're going to see how these things develop and progress with pictures and whatnot. But just looking at the accessories, I mean, Joe, it's all about amazing accessories. You know these guys are going to be great, so I'm going to watch this one closely.
And then, you maggots, we got Sergeant Slaughter.
I can't do a good Sergeant Slaughter. I'll have to work on that one. But we actually got a promo from the real living G.I. Joe. That's wicked. So Sergeant Slaughter came on to introduce and announce
his Sergeant Slaughter figure.
And I think this looks great, which is typical. That literally that morning, I just ordered the Valaverse Sergeant Slaughter. But hey, will I end up with two? Will I just keep the one? I don't know. Time will tell. But again, just with the renders, the render looks great. They said like he's a super buff Sergeant Slaughter, which is kind of funny because even in his prime, in his wrestling years, Sarge was never actually that jacked. He always had a bit of a derby on him, a bit barrel-chested. But hey, that's what action figures are all about. So it looks great. Giant chin, the sunglasses, the hat. Yeah, I think he's going to be a great addition. I'd love it if they did more wrestling-style ones, but I'm not sure how the licenses work. They probably couldn't do a Roddy Piper or something like that. Because I think the way that we can get so many Sergeant Slaughters is because the man himself owns the right to the Sergeant Slaughter name. So he could license it out to WWE, to Valaverse, to Hasbro. So yeah, now you see it's even worse. Now I'm thinking, well, if I'm going to have two Slaughters, maybe I should get the WWE one as well. Then I got three Slaughters. Then I can compare them. And yeah, see, this is how I spiral. Then we move from renders to actual photos for pre-orders, and this is what got me. Originally, some of the retro ones coming out, I was like, I definitely don't need these. They look goofy and silly. Sorry, it's not retro, it's just like the new wave. First of all, Bazooka. I was like, I don't need a guy wearing like football gear. And oh no, wait, I do. Oh, those pictures look so good. Just the sculpting, the details. I'm not going to go on too much because I pretty much say the same thing for all of them. He looks great. The facial features. He looks like such a fun figure that so much love and crafting has gone into. All of a sudden, I think I do need a football-style G.I. Joe. Never realized it. Then we have Blaine from Predator, or Recondo, as he's known. And this guy also looks cool. I thought, nah, he's just a bit of a generic sort of army dude. I don't need this guy. I don't need my Jesse Ventura figure. Oh no, wait, he looks great as well. Amazing what you can do, Hasbro, with some badass photography and then a lot of skill going into the making of the sculpt. Because yes, that's where G.I. Joe shine. It's all this wonderful, new, great looking stuff. And all of a sudden, there's two more figures that I'm like, yep, didn't think I need them, but I definitely, absolutely need them. Now, one that I can possibly step back from are the Python Patrol Jungle Troopers. Yes, I think they look cool. They look great fun with the different greens and the kind of camouflage look going on there, but it is just more troopers. And I've got lots of Cobra troopers, so I don't think I need some extra ones. Having said that, though, I did order Crocmaster. A couple of those guys flanking Crocmaster, that would look pretty awesome. But that's the problem with troopers. You can't get just one trooper on his own. That doesn't look right. You need at least two to be flanking some big boss type guy. And again, that's also how I spiral. Now, one who I was always considering just from the art was Zarana, one of the Dreadnoks. I thought, yeah, bright, colourful, crazy Mad Max 80s type lady, that is quite tempting. And now we see her in hand and yeah, she looks the business. So that's going to be another easy one for me. That I don't even have to like kind of convince myself to go for her. I think with all her accessories, her swap out, hairstyles, I think that's so great. Yeah, she's one that I think hopefully if they do more Dreadnoks, you can get a whole Dreadnok platoon who can back up Zartan. Yeah, that's a really cool one. I'm very excited for her. And finally, there's Dusty. Nah, I'm being mean. But he's not one that I'm that interested in because he does just straight up look like a regular army dude. Now, that's kind of a credit to Hasbro as well because they've made a really great looking army dude. The amount of accessories and everything that he comes with, they've clearly put in the love. And I'm sure that to people who are big G.I. Joe aficionados, this is a big deal. This is like, oh, freaking Dusty, man. I'm just like, nah, it just looks like an army dude. So I'll be able to pass on him quite easily, which is good. I'm like, whew, okay, that saves me a few pennies. But I think if you want this character, if you got some love for it, or if you just appreciate the amazing work that's clearly gone into him, then you'll be happy to pick him up. And then finally they revealed a couple of the Crimson Guard figures. And my buddy Dom was like, yes, this is my childhood right here. These are the ones that I was a really big fan of as a kid. So I think some of these are even sold out on pre-order already. I don't want to create like a panic or anything, but I think that's the case. But go check it out. I mean, hey, look, if you want them anyway, then go check them out anyway. All right? It's better for me to say that they're hard to come by than for me to say like, oh no, you can order them at any time. And you'll be like, well, fine, Dave, I won't. I'll relax. And you'll be like, what? They sold out, Dave. You lied to me. So, yeah, go check it out. But the Crimson Guard, at first, I was like, are these classified? They look like more vintage. There's not so much going on there. And then you sort of have a little closer look and you're like, oh, no. Oh, no, okay, there's some nice stuff going on here. I just need my eyes checked. Love the big rapier-type sword. That's fantastic. And, again, problem, you ideally, you don't need, but it'd be nice to have two of them flanking Cobra Commander. And I like the fact that the team kind of pointed out just what a great, terrible leader Cobra Commander is. It's like, yeah, he needs two of these guys to bodyguard him. He totally doesn't deserve them. I kind of love that. So yeah, they look awesome as well. On the whole, that was a pretty good G.I. Joe Pulse stream. Some slightly like, kind of repaints, but then some nice looking stuff too. So still, I gotta say, G.I. Joe is the line that's really holding my attention the most. Going over to video game news, and again with Godzilla. He's just up in his profile recently. Call of Duty now has a Monarch version update that's coming out. I'm not too sure the terminology, but there's a trailer which basically just looks like a minute from Godzilla vs. Kong. It's just Kong on Skull Island wrecking some airplanes, and then Godzilla comes out of the water and it's the whole rah. So really, I don't know what that means. I mean, it's Call of Duty, so you play a human running around shooting other humans normally, and now there's going to be kaiju all over the place, so do you run around shooting people trying not to get stepped on? I have no idea how this is going to actually play out, but the fact that it's technically a Monarch kaiju first-person shooter type game, color me interested. Alright, so I'm going to watch this one closely, because I haven't played Call of Duty ever, I don't think. I've never really been a Call of Duty person, but throw a giant monkey in there and yeah, all of a sudden, I might get on board with this. In movie news, only a small little thing, and that's that Warner Brothers have officially confirmed that Batman 2, or The Batman 2, or whatever they're going to call it, it'll probably be called The Batman something something, Dark Side, is officially greenlit. So I don't think it's even gone into production yet, but they've just said, yeah, we kind of made a dump truck full of money on that last movie. So yes, obviously we are making another one. And it's still going to be directed by Matt Reeves. It's still going to have Robert Pattinson. So all the ingredients are going to come back together to hopefully make another terrific film. And I say terrific, was it terrific? It was really good. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Maybe the sequel could be a little bit shorter. Maybe they can tighten up the third and fourth act into one act. I think that would have helped the original. But still, more Batman from this universe. I'm going to be really happy to see that. And finally, just jumping over to comics, Spider-Man has had kind of a relaunch. So if you've ever wondered about getting into Spider-Man, now would be the best time. The hack job that they did on Ben Reilly is at least over now, so we can start recovering. And to do so, they've given us a nice clean slate, a new Amazing Spider-Man issue 1 with pencils from John Romita Jr., which is so funny. He is an artist who I could not stand in the 90s. I thought his artwork looked blocky and square and scratchy and just ugly. And then just as the years went by, and I feel like his style softened a little bit, and I think some of the computer coloring techniques came to the forefront, and just it's all melded together to actually make John Romita Jr. one of my favorite artists. He is a reason I will buy a book now. And now that he's working on my #1 favorite character of all time, oh, that's just a great combination. So he's back doing Spider-Man, the world is good, and now you've got a brand new relaunch issue 1. I've bought it, but I haven't even read it yet. But I'm saying if you want to get on board with Spider-Man, now's a good time. And guys, that does it for good news for today and for a couple of days. I'm about to take a few days off from the channel, so if things seem a bit quiet, don't you worry. I'm going to be back around about May 4th, bringing all the news, all the thunder, and all the action figures you could possibly need. But folks, what did you think about what I was talking about today? What were the news stories that kind of caught your eye? What were the hot takes that you have? Comment below, let me know. Now, I have actually got to the stage with a lot of the comments where, honestly, I read everything. And if it's like a specific question, I'll try and reply. But I used to reply to everything. And honestly, there aren't enough hours in the day. And that is a happy problem. Thank you so much for all the support you show the channel. It's amazing. Speaking of which, there's channel memberships now, which is kind of cool. So if you want to get on board big time with the model behavior community, you can get a channel membership, and there are going to be exclusive videos up there, and it's kind of like Patreon, but it's on YouTube. But still, check it out. That's kind of cool. If you go to the live streams a lot, then you get special icons for channel members and stuff. It's super fun. Or at least I think it is. I'm literally learning about it right now. But big thank you to my buddy Kozan, who is the first actual member of the model behavior community. That's really, really cool. I didn't even know that they were properly live and working until he just messaged me and he was like, hey dude, you know you got channel memberships? I just joined. I'm like, oh, awesome, it does work. So guys, go check those out. Thanks so much for all the support, and until next time. Oh, that was rubbish. It's because I just cut my nails and now I can't click properly. Close enough. Keep displaying model behavior.